Hi, I'm Colton. I'm here with my partner Ben, and we are university students enrolled at the Haskayne School of Business, and we hate paying too much for our textbooks. That is why we came up with Boundless Books, what we are hoping to be the next big thing in the textbook industry. So when students go to school to get a bachelor's degree, the amount of money they're spending is increasing every year, while the value and hireability of these degrees is decreasing. So students are looking for cost savings wherever they possibly can. When it comes to textbooks, they have very few options, and none of them are ideal. First of all, they could buy their old-fashioned paper textbooks, which are heavy, inconvenient to carry around, and not to mention almost worthless by the end of the semester due to the release of new versions. Also, there are some online options, such as open educational resources. While although these are free, they are not very widely available and can be hard to use due to their poor user interface.
So, our solution, Boundless Books. Service that allows students to access all their textbooks that are required quickly, conveniently, and for much less than our competition. In addition, it allows students to compress their otherwise large stack of textbooks into the form factor size of a laptop or tablet. And as it is online, they can access it whenever and wherever they go.
So our competitive advantage stems mainly from the convenience and affordability that we offer to students, as well as the licensing deal that we hope to negotiate with the publishers that will allow us to provide a price point that cannot be matched by any of our other competitors. The unique thing about our business model is that it actually provides value to both sides of the industry, not just to the consumers, but to the publishers as well, because by implementing our service, they save on their printing, binding, and shipping costs that are usually associated with the classic paper textbooks and allow them to operate at a higher profit margin. Boundless Books will also decrease the overall environmental impact of the textbook industry as a whole, as when they want to release the new versions of their textbooks, they can simply update our database rather than printing thousands of new books every 1 to 2 years.
So in terms of our customer segment, it'll be primarily composed of Canadian post-secondary students, especially those who value both the decreased cost and increased convenience of our product. In terms of validation of our product, while speaking to post-secondary students here at the University of Calgary, the majority of them pointed out that they would in fact value these cost savings and convenience of our product. Furthermore, while speaking to a McGraw-Hill representative, she stated that she saw great value in our product, as they too are currently trying to transition more towards the e-commerce model for the textbook industry. In terms of the market validation itself, over the years, it's become a multi-billion-dollar industry. However, that being said, in recent years, fewer and fewer textbooks are being sold as students resort to more cost-efficient alternatives, such as renting or borrowing textbooks. We believe this makes our product a great alternative, as it meets both of these criteria.
So through talking to students, we found that most would be willing to spend up to $300 per year for a service such as ours. So we structured our pricing in a way that met this, as well as covered all of our costs. We plan on offering 3 different levels of subscription, providing us with recurring revenue, ranging from a day plan with access to 1 book, up to a premium plan offering unlimited access to up to 5 books. In order for us to start up and operate for a year, our 2 major costs would be developing and launching our website, as well as the licensing fees that we'll pay to publishers. These fees will be by far our largest expense, so we conducted some research to find out how much it would cost for us to reproduce and distribute their material. But we had a tough time getting an exact estimate due to how drastically different our business model is compared to the e-commerce and retail approach that is used now. But we did ballpark that it would cost us around 30 to 45% of the sticker price that ebooks are available for now on shelves.
So moving forward, our primary concern will of course be the design and implementation of the website itself. As well, textbook procurement process will have to begin to actually negotiate these deals. Once we have our minimal viable product, we transition our efforts more towards the marketing of it to other students. Today we're asking for $200,000, half of which will go towards procurement, and the other half will be divided between those other 2.
We'll now open the floor to questions. Thank you, guys.
Hey, you know.
I'm just curious how you plan on securing licensing and whether you think you need multiple licenses to start or if you could just go with 1 publisher.
Yeah, so I know that here in Canada, Nelson Brain is like one of the largest publishers. I know on their website they do talk about more about how they offer the whole licensing agreements. So through them, it operates basically on there's no upfront costs, it's mostly a percentage. So essentially they charge us based on our traffic and actually our distribution of like books to students. So there's no upfront costs, but as we bring in revenue, we then send it back over to them.
So yeah, there's quite a few different ways we can structure it, but we believe the most effective for us will be through royalties, which will ensure that if our volumes low, our costs stay low, but then as our revenues increase, so will our costs, and that will ensure that the publishers as well as the authors of the book all get their cut of the profits.
Question for you on competitive advantage and market space. How many other providers of ebooks are out there for textbooks right now?
So right now, in North America, Cengage in the United States actually has a somewhat of a similar model where they've done this subscription-style service. Now, they released that service about 6 months ago, and that time they've done $1.5 billion in sales, which is actually equivalent to their 2017 overall revenue. That being said, on their website, they say that they cannot service Canada, and as such, the Canadian market is still unserved. With Nelson Brain, on their website, they currently still offer the traditional, you pay us up front a certain amount of money, $80, $90 for a textbook, and you can have access to it for 3 to 4 months for your class. So right now, no one in Canada is actually doing this model, so we believe right now the resource is untapped, and we want to take advantage of it, obviously. In terms of competitive advantage, obviously primarily the biggest one is first to market. Being there right away, first of all, is the biggest thing, and also just having an easy-to-use interface that students like to use. We believe we have an advantage there as well, as we are students, so we know what works for us and what works for other students.
Thank you. The secondary question I had for you is in regards to the 5 books for the $300, I believe you were saying. Normally, within the course of a year, students probably use almost up to 10 books, I'd say, right? Okay. Any method to the reasoning of just 5 versus increasing that amount?
Yeah, so our plan was based off of a per semester basis. So you'd get 5 for that semester, and then you'd be able to update it for the next semester. So that is actually, yeah, you would get 10 for the year.
Did you have a chance to speak to any of the publishers about seeing if they were interested in participating in this kind of licensing deal that's novel in Canada but available in the United States? Were you able to validate
So again,
that
when we
at all?
contacted McGraw-Hill, they did say that they saw great value in the product model itself. However, we haven't gone into in terms of details yet. But apart from Nelson Brain, of course, they do offer that licensing agreement online, and that's already laid out. We also have a strategy of we're kind of going to address it in a way of we're going to say the UFC doesn't know we exist yet. They're going to offer, they're still going to put in their usual order for textbooks. And also, they're going to have the usual order coming in from UFC, and also they're going to have money coming in from our platform as well. So in a sense, Nelson Brain can almost double dip into the pockets of the University of Calgary, so it benefits them and benefits us.
Yeah, we did actually also contact Nelson Brain, and they were very excited about a platform that was strictly ebooks because they are trying to move towards that because it's way cheaper for them. Like the amount it costs to print, bind, and ship a textbook is very, very high. So if we could popularize the ebook for them, that takes a lot of the grunt work off of them, and it benefits us both.
What's stopping a university bookstore from doing this?
So I think right now they're quite happy with their current distribution model. It's worked for them for the past 50 years, like here at UC, and it's worked for them for the next 50 years to come. That being said, nothing is essentially stopping them. You can't protect this sort of a model, but you can protect certain features of it, right? So what it'll come down to is, of course, is having a platform that we believe and we feel is superior to that maybe University of Calgary would make. So that'll come down to, of course, implementing all the features that we want to implement and marketing properly to all of our peers.
So that was my secondary question, is what is unique? Do you have black box technology? Do you have anything that would prevent another entrant into this market?
In terms of something strictly proprietary, we are lacking that, but we do hope to negotiate a deal that would provide us an advantage. And we're even thinking of some sort of open source nature for our content, so we could provide course notes, things like that students want to upload themselves, which would be something that the bookstore wouldn't have access to. So in terms of the long run, we might be able to come up with something like that, but as for right now, there's nothing proprietary.
And to add to that as well, one of our features that we were thinking about of including was by inputting your UC ID or whatever university you attend to, your ID, your essentially homepage would become essentially like a picture of maybe the university itself that you attend, the emblem or whatever. So it kind of personalizes it to yourself and to your course that you're taking.